about the power of the next generation? Y'all don't even know what's coming for you right now. So first off, this is Eleni. Let's say her name together. Eleni.
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 Eleni is going to just rock your world. So, as Ankush invited us, put your most powerful listening on. Because she's bringing the gold. Do not sleep on this conference. Give it up for Eleni.
Eleni.
Before I start, I would like to acknowledge God for this beautiful day and for giving me all these opportunities. Yes. I would like to acknowledge my parents for guiding me through this incredible journey. And lastly, I would like to acknowledge Judy Thurston for helping create this event and everybody else who helped create this event, especially Amy and Steve, who none of us would be here today without. And before I continue, I would like to share with you all my document. I am that I can do anything through Christ. I am that I have a strong belief in Christ. I am that I believe in miracles through Christ. I am that I see everyone, including myself, as a living icon of Christ. I am safe and protected in Christ, especially in the dark. I'm courageous and will never give up. I am brave, not afraid of anything, and I can overcome my fears. I am that I can do this, and I will always find a way. I am that I use every mistake as an opportunity to learn and grow. I am that I love Zachary, Sam, and Penny as kind and thoughtful siblings. I'm aware of others' points of view, and it does not impact my ability to love them. I am that I love myself as a smart, thoughtful, strong, kind, fit, and brilliant girl. I am beautiful. I am that I always forgive myself. I am always kind and loving. I'm that I let it go when I'm upset or mad. I'm a talented singer, dancer, actress, pianist, DIYer, etc. I am that I trust in God, that I will learn what I need to learn in the time that I need to learn it. I am the only me, and that is my superpower. I am enough. This is who I am, and my parents named me Eleni Grace Coates. I'm going to share with you all 3 stories. The first one is about my brother Zachary and our relationship. My brother Zach and I are pretty close mates. I'm 12 and he's 13, almost 14, tomorrow. And we have argued a lot, but this time was different. I'm going to take you back just 3 weeks ago. My family and I were leaving a restaurant, and my mom wanted a picture in front of the sign. So we gathered together to take the picture, and Zach put his arm around me. I don't know why, but I didn't like it. So I told him to keep his arms to himself. And he didn't listen, and my parents didn't do anything about it either. So I shoved his arm off me and walked away. Scratch that. I stomped away. My parents gave me a few minutes, hoping that I would cool down. After a minute, we gathered together once again to take the picture. And once again, Zach put his arm around me. So once again, I shoved it off and stomped away. This happened one more time, until finally my parents gave up, and we just didn't take the picture. Fast forward a week, and my dad was coaching me through some relationship things. And he gave me an assignment. And the assignment was that every night for 1 week, I was to write 3 appreciations that I had for Zachary. And every night when I wrote these appreciations, I would have to write specific things that happened that day that I appreciated about him. And at first, it was really hard, and I couldn't come up with things that I appreciated about him. But as time went on, it became easier and easier. After a week, I realized that Zach and I hadn't had an argument in over a week, which is kind of unheard of. What writing these appreciations was doing was changing my perception on Zachary. Instead of wanting to get him back for things that he's done to me, this leaves me wanting to do kind things for him, and it leaves me wanting a good relationship with him. We have to continuously and purposefully choose how we are going to show up in our relationships instead of letting the frustrating past experiences decide for us. After the week of writing these appreciations, my family and I went out for brunch for no particular reason. And when we came back to the car, I saw that Zachary and Sam, my younger brother, sat in the back. Now, the back has 3 seats, but usually only 2 people sit there. When 3 people sit there, it is crammed. But the back seat was also my seat. So I told Sam to get out, but he didn't want to. So I decided, whatever, I'm just gonna sit in the back. It's not that long of a drive home. As I crawled to the back, I started complaining about how Sam sat in the back without considering me. But when I sat down, Zach put his arm around me and made a joke. And this time, instead of flinching or running away, I actually appreciated it. The rest of the ride home, we just talked and laughed. I feel that Zach and I's relationship is probably at the best than words ever been. The next story I have to share with you is about my dog Teddy and how he changed my perception on family. 4 years ago, I'm going to take you back about 4 years ago. This on Christmas. See, I've always wanted a dog, and I've been begging my parents for a dog ever since I can remember. And on Christmas, my siblings and I were opening our last gift. Inside of it was a purple stuffed dog toy, shaped like a dog. My siblings and I were all baffled, until Zachary realized what was happening and yelled out, "We're getting a dog!" I was so excited. For the next month, we started looking for a right dog for our family. Our neighbors told us that their friends had recently got a dog, then realized they didn't have enough time or energy to take care of it. So they were selling it. We visited this dog, and his name was Teddy. Teddy was so energetic. Teddy had also been neglected and been living in a garage for most of the first 6 months of his life. He'd also had super long, knotted, shaggy hair and probably had never gotten a haircut. Nevertheless, he was so cute. 2 days later, we went to go pick up our dog. The first night that we had Teddy, he was howling as I was going to bed. And I knew I couldn't just leave him there. So I grabbed my little children's Bible, ran downstairs, sat down right next to his cage, and just read to him. Fast forward a year, and Teddy fit perfectly into our family. Every day when I would get home from school, he'd hear the door and come running. He'd jump up and down at me and lick my face. One particular day, my parents were out of the house, and my grandparents were watching us. I wanted to go outside, so like any sane person would do, I opened the door to go outside. And before I knew, Teddy bolted out the door. My brother and I were chasing him around the neighborhood for a good 15 minutes. And our neighbor friends even joined in the chase to help us. I'll spare you the details, but eventually we got him back. Teddy was a mischief maker, and definitely not one to follow the rules. Every time that we would leave the house, we'd have to put Teddy in his crate. And every time we would go in his crate, he would start howling. and he would sound like an opera singer. We always joked and called him our little opera singer. Fast forward another year, we moved and started to homeschool. Teddy now had a big backyard to run in and a lot more places that we couldn't find him. He also made a few dog friends, one of whose name was Buster. Buster was a big dog, 50 pounds to be precise, and Teddy was little, about 10 pounds. They'd only met each other once, but they had seemed to get along. One day, I was taking Teddy out for a walk, and we were passing by Buster's house, and he was out in the yard with one of his owners, my friend, Mia. As we passed by, Buster started growling at Teddy, and naturally, Teddy growled back. Suddenly, Buster leaped out of his yard, grabbed Teddy by the neck, and started swinging him around like a dog toy. I didn't know what to do, and I knew I couldn't just leave him there. So, Maya and I just screamed until her mom came out and took Buster inside. Teddy was now lying on the ground, motionless, and I wondered if he might even be dead. Nevertheless, I scooped him up, ran home, and pounded on the door. My dad opened it. I could tell he was about to yell at me for pounding until he saw Teddy in my arms. We called the nearest animal hospital, and Teddy was there for 5 days. When he came back, they told us that he had bruised his spinal cord, and he would probably never walk again. Teddy was paralyzed. But Teddy was also family, so we weren't about to give up there. So for the next 8 months, we took Teddy to water therapy, physical therapy, emotional therapy, hospital checkups, and we even had an animal specialist come to our house every few weeks for him. At home, we fed him and gave him water through a syringe. We exercised his legs multiple times daily, and my mom had to squeeze his bladder to help him go to the bathroom, because he could no longer do it himself. Needless to say, this was a high maintenance dog. We were willing to do it, because Teddy was family. After another month, Teddy started to howl at night. He was in pain and no longer enjoyed life. He also couldn't sleep, nor could my parents. My parents gathered my siblings and I and told us it was time to let him go. That day, I was sad that he was going to be gone, but happy that he would be safe and pain-free in heaven. Now you might be wondering what this is, if you could manage to see it. This is part of Teddy's bed. When he passed, I cut up his bed and made pillows out of it. One for each of my younger siblings and one for myself, to comfort us when we miss him. When these kind of things happen, I often question God. I ask him, why would you do this? Or what was the reason for this? Or how is that supposed to teach me a lesson? But the thing is, he has a reason for everything. You may not see it now. You may not see it in a few weeks, months, years, or you may never know the reason for that one thing that happened in your life. But it's there. During this experience, I learned trust, patience, and grew closer with my family. I also believe one of God's reasons for me was to share this experience with you all and hopefully inspire many. I also realized that Teddy might have saved my life that day. If he hadn't been in between Buster and I, who knows what would have happened to me. Going through hardships, especially with the people you love, only makes you stronger. Being family means always having someone to support and someone to support you. It means coming together in times of need and just loving each other. It means doing a favor here and there, no matter how small or big the task. Why? Because you're family. Our experiences don't define us. Yes, we learn and grow from our experiences. Yes, we have good and bad experiences. And yes, they change you and make you who you are today. But that doesn't mean you have to be living in that awful experience when you lost your job or a family member passed. We can accept our experiences and say, yeah, that happened. Yeah, I cried. Yes, it's going to be okay. Being family means making each other feel seen, loved, and cared for. And a way that my family and I do that is we created an acknowledgement jar. How it works is that every time we see someone in our family saying something kind, out of their comfort zone, or simply in alignment with their document, we wait till dinner, and at the dinner table, we acknowledge them and put a pom-pom in our acknowledgement jar. Once we get to about 50 pom-poms or 50 acknowledgements, we go do something fun as a family. Whether that be going to an arcade or a movie theater, or simply baking cookies and play games at home. I believe it's important to hang out with your family like you would a friend. Because if your mindset is just dealing with your annoying family while you must, why are you expecting to have a good relationship with them? It's all about treating your family like you would treat a close friend. Because friends come and go, but family is forever. So make the best of it. My last story I have to share with you all is on imagination. When I was younger and still in school, we homeschool now, about 3rd grade, my friends and I would gather every recess and play family. Sometimes we'd be swimming away from the sharks because we were about to get eaten, and sometimes we'd be hunting in the woods for food because we were starving. Eventually, my family and I moved, and we started to homeschool. And I felt like I was starting to lose part of my imagination because I no longer had recess with my friends. And don't get me wrong, I know I still have a huge imagination, but in some areas, it just felt like it didn't work. But why is it that we start to lose our imaginations as we get older? Well, I believe it's because people or family in our lives tell us what's real and what's not. And we realize the real world is not nearly as fun or easy as we thought. So we stop wasting our time playing pretend or daydreaming until we truly lose our imaginations. But why is imagination so vital? Well, imagination can lead to theories, inventions, and a lot more. A quote that I love from Albert Einstein is, "Imagination is more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited to all that we know and understand, but imagination embraces the entire world and all that we will ever be to know and understand." Now, I thought that I already lost part of my imagination, and it was too late to do anything about it. Turns out, there's a lot I don't know. Because imagination is both a skill and something you can be born with naturally. Imagination has helped me with fear and anxiety. But the funny thing is, imagination is the exact thing that creates fear and anxiety. Imagination can help us achieve our dreams. It can also block us from getting to our goals. Did you know your brain works best while you're asleep? Well, when you're asleep, try picturing yourself doing what you love. While you're falling asleep, picture yourself doing what you love, not when you're asleep. How would you?
We got you.
Now, when I'm falling asleep, I picture myself singing and acting because that's what I want to do and that's what I do. Now, when you're asleep, your brain takes things in your subconscious mind and things that you were just thinking about and turns them into dreams. Now, your lifelong goal or dream will be hardwired into your mind. That's only a bit of the natural magic that your brain can do. Now, I use imagination for all sorts of things. One of those things being crafts. I love crafting, and I love anything DIY. Here are just a few of the crafts that I've made. I've made a clay jewelry holder, a clay pencil holder, knitted gloves, knitted leg warmers, knitted hat, many sketchings, paintings, drawings, and so much more. Another thing I use imagination for is to play pretend with my siblings. And to this day, almost every time I swim, I pretend I'm a mermaid. Now, you know how I was talking about imagining your lifelong goal or dream as you're falling asleep? Well, that's funny, because last night I was just picturing myself singing on stage. And what's funny is that right now I'm on stage, and I have lights, and an audience. I'm not about to sing.
All right, Eleni.
This song is called Daydream. When we were kids in the backyard, playing astronauts and rock stars, no one told us to stop it, called us unrealistic. And suddenly you're 18, go to college for your plan B. What you want is too risky. Live for weekends and whiskey. We all got these big ideas. One day they're replaced with fears. How did we get here? Darling, don't quit your daydream. Is your life that you're making? It ain't big enough if it doesn't scare the hell out of you. If it makes you nervous, it's probably worth it. Why save it for sleep when you could be living your daydream? 31 wind tables, she has the voice of an angel. Out of money and power, she only sings in the shower. All these things we say we'll get to, shot down by the reasons not to. Darling, don't quit your daydream. It's your life that you're making. It ain't big enough if it doesn't scare the hell out of you. If it makes you nervous, it's probably worth it. Why save it for sleep when you could be living your daydream? So scared of failure that we failed to try. Turn it around before the finish line. Gonna fall for a minute before you can fly. So daydream. Is your life that you're making? It ain't big enough if it doesn't scare the hell out of you. If it makes you nervous, it's probably worth it. Why save it for sleep when you could be living your daydream? Now I'm gonna sing the chorus one more time. And for those of you that can remember how it goes, I want you to sing along with me. Darling, don't quit your
Daydream.
It's your
Not
life
that you're making.
It ain't big enough if it doesn't scare the hell out of you. It makes you nervous. Probably worth it. In the sleep, and you can leave, and you can daydream. Save it for sleep, when you could be
Living your daydream.